On the evening of May 25, 2020, Joseph T., seeking refuge from a crowded shelter, found himself on the quiet confines of a 6 train, his tote bags as companions. Little did he know that this ordinary journey would transform into a harrowing encounter, as the eyes of the NYPD cast a shadow over what started as a seemingly inconspicuous commute. How did an ordinary subway ride turn into a pivotal moment for Joseph T. on that fateful night? Let's find out. But before that, why don't you take a minute to like and subscribe to the channel? So let's get on with the incident. On the night of May 25, 2020, Joseph T. sought refuge from a crowded shelter, boarding a sparsely populated 6 train with a few tote bags. Seemingly inconsequential, his choice to occupy extra seats became the catalyst for a jarring encounter. The tranquility shattered when NYC police intervened, transforming a routine commute into a violent confrontation. Initially charged with felony assault, Joseph faced a distorted narrative from officers. Fast forward nearly 3 years and the wheels of justice are turning. Joseph is poised to receive restitution, a long-awaited acknowledgement of the injustice he endured. On that night, police said Joseph kicked an officer, leading to a felony charge. But surprise, body cam footage tells a different tale. It seems like the officers weren't telling the truth. The video doesn't support their story of Joseph kicking anyone during his arrest on the platform. So, after nearly 3 years of Joseph facing serious charges, justice might finally come his way. The truth caught on camera challenges the official version, questioning the honesty of those meant to uphold the law and emphasizing the importance of video evidence in revealing what really happened. So what exactly happened that night? In a video released soon after the incident, police wanted a person off the train. The person then moved to another compartment of the train to avoid the police. Then, Officer Adonis Long tried to grab the person's hand, but the passenger pushed him away, showing he didn't want to be touched. Things got intense quickly. The passenger resisted being taken out, wanting to stay in his seat. However, the struggle ended with the police force fully removing him. But it was the body cam footage that revealed the violent nature of this incident. In a disturbing incident captured on body camera footage weeks after the event, NYPD officers were observed punching and kicking Joseph, a hairstylist, after he left a Manhattan homeless shelter carrying his belongings. Fearful of retaliation, Joseph opted not to disclose his full name. The footage revealed officers hitting Joseph in the face and kicking his items off the 6 train at 51st Street around 12:30 a.m. Officer Adonis Long was identified using pepper spray and placing his hand around Joseph's neck. The video portrayed a harrowing scene as Joseph, surrounded by police, pleaded for them to stop while tears streamed down his face. The intensity escalated as he was pinned against a wall, blood visible on the side of his head. This incident raises concerns about the excessive use of force, prompting scrutiny of the officer's actions and the circumstances leading to the confrontation. In a distressing turn of events, the video captures Joseph, handcuffed on the station floor, pleading about a panic attack and calling for his absent older brother. "I'm having a panic attack, please," he says, cuffed on the floor of the station. He later said, "I felt like my heart was going to fall out." The footage provides a detailed, alarming account of Joseph being pepper sprayed while already on the ground, bleeding from the head and surrounded by police officers during what he claims was a panic attack. Crucially, the video fails to present any evidence suggesting Joseph occupied more than one seat or any justifiable reason for the officer's use of such excessive force. The absence of a clear cause for the aggression raises questions about the appropriateness of the officer's actions. So, why did the police target him? The case involving Joseph sheds light on a concerning pattern, where police officers may assume that individuals facing homelessness lack the means to challenge their actions in court, often making them targets for unwarranted violence. However, in a twist of fate, the presence of unaltered body camera footage brought the truth to the forefront, challenging the officer's narrative. In March, Joseph took a decisive step by filing a lawsuit in Manhattan federal court, vehemently contesting the police officer's version of events from the May 25th incident. Joseph filed the lawsuit against New York City NYPD Officer Long and Officer Shimul Saha. The officers had falsely claimed that Joseph attempted to flee and had physically assaulted them, alleging that he shoved an officer and kicked his right hand. The footage revealed Officer Long as the aggressor, repeatedly punching Joseph in the head. Contrary to their claims, the complaint contended that Long cut his right hand by repeatedly punching Joseph. Allegations included the use of excessive force, false arrest, and evidence fabrication, highlighting a troubling pattern of misconduct and emphasizing the need for accountability within law enforcement. Joseph's legal action underscores the critical role of objective evidence in holding law enforcement accountable for their actions. By challenging the officer's false claims in court, Joseph aimed to seek justice and expose the inaccurate narrative perpetuated by those in power. On December 21st, the Adams administration settled Joseph's case. The parties agreed to the $135,000 settlement without admitting any wrongdoing. City Law Department spokesperson Nicholas Paolucci stated that the agreement was in the best interest of the parties, emphasizing the city's decision not to represent Officer Long. Long's police union attorney, Doug LaBarbera, remained silent on the matter. Joseph's attorney, Michael Loomer, highlighted that Officer Long was not personally obligated to contribute to the settlement. So, does this mean that the incident found the justice it required? Well, not really. The resolution of Joseph's case, while providing him monetary compensation, raises concerns about the lack of substantial consequences for the officers involved, notably Officer Adonis Long. The absence of personal financial responsibility for Long, with taxpayers covering the settlement, highlights a systemic issue where citizens bear the financial burden for police misconduct. This scenario fails to create effective deterrence against police overreach, brutality, and dishonesty. The current system lacks accountability and imposes no real discipline or negative repercussions for officers who abuse their authority. Consequently, the cost of policing rises, and citizens bear the brunt of both substandard law enforcement practices and the financial aftermath of officers stepping out of line. This settlement speaks volumes for why some cops continue to lie and brutalize, said Loomer. By paying for Adonis Long's misconduct without demanding any contribution, the city is effectively endorsing his behavior. He added, "Until there's real accountability and discipline, bad cops will continue to violate the law without consequence." New York City has paid over $1.1 billion for NYPD misconduct cases since 2015, surpassing payouts for any other city agency. However, research by UCLA law professor Joanna Schwartz reveals that in the majority of cases, police officers personally bear no financial responsibility for civil payouts. Only 35 officers had to pay during a 6-year study period from 2006 to 2011, and half of them contributed less than $2,125. This lack of personal financial consequences for officers perpetuates a system where taxpayers bear the financial burden of police misconduct, raising concerns about accountability within law enforcement. And did you know this was not the first time for Officer Adonis Long? In Officer Long's case, a troubling pattern emerges beyond this specific incident. Multiple substantiated misconduct charges, including lying to the Civilian Complaint Review Board, unnecessary physical force, discourteous behavior, wrongful use of pepper spray, and an illegal chokehold, reveal a recurrent pattern of abuse. Despite these documented transgressions, there seems to be a lack of intervention to halt this cycle of misconduct. This lack of personal financial consequences for officers perpetuates a system where taxpayers bear the financial burden of police misconduct, raising concerns about accountability within law enforcement. And did you know this was not the first time for Officer Adonis Long? In Officer Long's case, a troubling pattern emerges beyond this specific incident. Multiple substantiated misconduct charges, including lying to the Civilian Complaint Review Board, unnecessary physical force, discourteous behavior, wrongful use of pepper spray, and an illegal chokehold, reveal a recurrent pattern of abuse. Despite these documented transgressions, there seems to be a lack of intervention to halt this cycle of misconduct. Officer Long's history suggests a disturbing trend of unchecked behavior, with no apparent intervention to curb his actions. The failure of those with the authority to intervene raises questions about the effectiveness of oversight mechanisms and the commitment to addressing systemic issues within law enforcement. Without meaningful consequences, the cycle of misconduct persists, eroding public trust and perpetuating a cycle of impunity. Addressing these systemic flaws is crucial to fostering accountability, rebuilding public confidence, and ensuring that law enforcement serves and protects communities without compromising individual rights and safety. So, what punishment do you think Officer Adonis Long should receive for his actions?